Now we're using Microsoft SharePoint Designer 2010 to create some workflow rules. The site that you're interested in is probably listed under recent sites, but just in case it's not, click the Open Site button. Remember to type in https:// followed by your site name and press enter to open the site. SharePoint Designer will probably ask you to log in the first time, and then it will bring you to this screen here. Take a moment to look around the screen at all of the options that are available to you, but over here on the left hand side, the workflow section is where we want to go. And then up in the ribbon at the top, we've got the option to create a new workflow based on a list. Click that to see all of the lists available to you from your site. We're going to be building workflow based on the inspections list. Now take the time to type in a good name and a description that will help you remember what this workflow is all about months later when you come back to it, and press the OK button. And now here we get to the heart of creating the workflow. The bulk of the actions that you want are contained in the ribbon bar at the top, and it's these three in particular: a condition and an action, and possibly multiple steps. But we start with a condition. Click on this, and this is the condition that we want to work with. If a field equals a value, then do something. And I happen to know that I'm wanting to test for the name of the inspecting manager. And I could say equals, but I'm just going to go for contains. If the name of the inspecting manager contains a value, click on value, and it gives me the option to type it in. I'm just going to bring up this display builder to type in the name of the manager I'm interested in and press OK. So now we've got a test, and then we want to do an action. We can start typing the action or use the insert group in the ribbon to insert the action that we want. And that's my first action. I'm going to set a variable to a value. See how this works. If the name of the inspecting manager contains that value, then create a variable here. I'm going to call that inspector's email. And what's the type? Well, there's a drop down here. Normally it's going to be a string, which is text. Set that to a value. Again, bring up the dialog with the little three dots. Type in the email address that we want to set the value to, and press OK. We might then introduce another action and set another workflow variable. This one, we're going to create a new variable. I'm going to call that branch manager. Again, it's a string. Press OK and type in the value. Press OK. So there's our first set of actions. We're testing for the name of a manager in a variable from the list, and then we are setting a couple of values. Then click under here, just get the cursor positioned correctly. We're saying our next action is going to be to send an email. We're going to email some users. If this, then that. If this, then email these people. This is where we get to define the email message, and we'll start by picking from the address book here, except we're going to mail merge the addresses that we're interested in. Choose this option, Workflow Lookup, and press Add. And rather than picking something from the current item in the list, we're going to use those workflow variables that we've just set. And the first thing we're going to do is put in the address of the branch manager and press OK. And OK again. So we've now put in the branch manager as the to address. And we're going to send a copy to the person who conducted the inspection. So pull out that inspector's email as a variable and add it in. And then we get to build up the subject line. I'm going to use this button here and start typing the subject line. Inspection of, from the current item, and find the name of the contract and press OK. On, and then pull out the date and press OK. And then we're going to put in the score, which is the overall inspection score, and press OK. That builds up a mail merge of our subject line, and then I can start typing the body. I can type in the name of the inspection manager, visited, press OK, and then our work rule is almost complete. All I need to do now is click back here. I'm currently in the editor. I want to go back a step and tick this box over here, which is to start the workflow automatically whenever a new item is created. We can also start the workflow when an item's changed, but that's not relevant in this case. Finally, I just want to save and publish. That's all there is to it. That workflow rule will now take place every time there is a new item added to the inspections list, and we're going to send the email that we drafted to the manager and to the inspector.